Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today. And today we're going to be talking about a passing in the NBA, as today is a sad day in the NBA world, as Dikembe Mutombo, a legend, has passed away at the age of 58 years old. Look, I'm going to be honest. It's not often I come on here to talk about players, whether it's the MLB or the NBA or the NFL, passing away, because even though I kind of want to, never want to kind of upset someone by saying something wrong. It's sometimes it feels, like it just feels like the wrong thing to do to start talking about it on a video. When someone passes away, I've only done it once. The only time I've ever talked about a player passing away was an NFL player named Jacoby Jones, but this felt different for me with Dikembe Mutombo because not only was he such a great man and such an amazing basketball player, and I'll get into, him as a basketball player in just a second, but also an experience I had with him. I don't know if I'll get into that as well. And the reason he passed away of brain cancer, and that hits close to home as well. So that's, the brain cancer hitting close to home, and also the connection I had with him, which I'll get into. And to end it all, what an amazing basketball player he were three big reasons why I felt like I had to talk about Dikembe Mutombo. And yeah, so I guess I'll start off with my experience with Dikembe Mutombo. I don't know if I really call it my experience. I wasn't living, but I mean, I guess I was growing when by the way, I live in Houston. Dikembe Mutombo played in Houston. He was with the Rockets from 2004 to 2009, ended his career with the Rockets. I was born in 2007. He was still with the Rockets in the 2006-2007 season. So when my mom was pregnant with me, my mom and my dad ran into Dikembe Mutombo outside of a restaurant named Cafe Express, and my dad recognized him, of course, being a big Rockets fan. And they started talking, and Dikembe asked my mom and dad if they knew what they were having. My parents did not know if I was a boy or girl yet. I actually don't know if they waited to the end or if they just didn't know. But they didn't know at that time, and at some point it got to the point where he put his hand on my mom's stomach, and when he removed his hand, he looked at them and he said, "That's gonna be a boy. I know it. That's gonna be a boy." And what makes this the even crazier, that I literally just learned this 5 seconds ago before making this video. I just literally learned this. I was born June 27th. He was born June 25th. I was born 2 days after his birthday. I had not known that at all. So it makes it crazier. He predicted I was going to be a boy when my parents didn't know I was going to be. And makes it crazier is that I was born in the area of his birthday just about 2 days after. My parents told me that story growing up, and it really didn't mean much to me because I wasn't into basketball. But around 2016, 2017, I really started to get into basketball and get into sports. And when I started to learn about who Mutombo was and what kind of a basketball player was, how cool of a person, and how much of a good person he was, I was so proud of that story. And I remember I would tell that story to so many people whenever Mutombo would be brought up, or sometimes I just bring it up to bring it up. So having that experience, even though I never met him, I guess he kind of met me and kind of predicted me, I guess. And now I wanted to get into the brain cancer of things, and brain cancer hits close to home. into my family, or I don't know if I'd say my inner family. My aunt, her husband, which technically you could say that's, my uncle, although we're not close enough and will never be close enough to, to call him that. His sister had brain cancer and she passed away. And every year they do this thing for brain cancer, and it's called Run for the Rose. And every year I have gone to this thing, Run for the Rose, and you do this. It's a charity run. You run for brain cancer, and so I've met people who have fought brain cancer at this thing. I've seen people in tributes who have lost their lives to brain cancer. So that's been really special every year for me to get to do that. And even though I didn't know her, the person, my aunt's sister-in-law, even though I did not know her and I never met her and was not related to her, I know the impact that makes, on my family's lives, my aunt, her children, my cousins. And so that's a big reason why I go every year and have learned. And honestly, going into this next year, it's usually around, March or April they do it. And I really hope maybe potentially Mutombo is brought up at next year's run, because he was not just a great basketball player, but an amazing person, and meant a whole lot to the city of Houston where this thing is done. So if Mutombo is not going to be brought up at that thing, I'm going to make sure he's brought up. Although I'm thinking it most likely will be brought up, just because the fact that it is about brain cancer. He passed away from brain cancer, and also how important he was to the NBA world and to the city of Houston. Before I get into him as a basketball player, I want to get into something that Jeff Green, a Houston Rockets player, said about Dikembe Mutombo. If you did not know, Jeff Green played at Georgetown. Jeff Green is one of the longest tenured NBA players at the entire NBA. Dikembe played at Georgetown. That's where he went to college before he got drafted by the Denver Nuggets. So Jeff Green had a close relationship with Dikembe. And at Rockets Media Day, as a Rockets fan, I was watching all Rockets Media Day, taking notes for my channel, and got to see Jeff Green, got to see every Rockets player talk. And keep in mind, it's a very sad day in the Rockets organization because Mutombo was so important to the Rockets organization. But there is a Rockets player in Jeff Green who is definitely having a harder time than some of us. And Jeff Green, I thought, said something very powerful and very amazing about Dikembe that I wanted to share. Immediately when I heard him talking about this, watching Rockets Media Day, I knew, okay, that has to be a part of my video. Here's what Jeff Green said, quoting him. He said, Dikembe Mutombo impacted him personally since day one being at Georgetown. He gave him pointers since his rookie year on how to become a pro. He said, I owe a lot to him. He touched a lot of people in this world with his joy and his energy. We lost a good one, but I am happy he's in a better place and is no longer in pain. But it sucks to lose someone who was so great and giving to this world. And I thought that was amazing on Jeff Green's end, and really, really, nailed it right there. And Jeff Green is someone who had a close relationship with Dikembe. Now, I want to finish this off on a good note and finish this off with recapping his NBA career, because I talk about how good of a person he was, the impact he made on my life, the impact he made on Jeff Green's life, the impact he made on so many others, and talking about what brain cancer can do, and how that's important in this factor. But I want to end this off in his NBA career. We're talking about a Hall of Famer. We're talking about an 8-time All-Star, a 2-time rebound champ, a three-time block champ, a 3-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Defensive NBA, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. It is not Dikembe Mutombo, you do not see that in today's NBA. The only player that I think comes close to Dikembe Mutombo in today's NBA is Rudy Gobert. I think they are both very similar, but Dikembe Mutombo, if you ask me, I think is a lot better than Rudy Gobert. We're talking about an elite shot blocker. This is a guy who averaged 3 blocks per game in his NBA career. And, at the end of his career, he wasn't playing as much as he was, in the beginning or middle of his career, and still finished averaging 3 blocks per game. He wasn't a big scorer, but even though he wasn't a big scorer, still managed to average 10 points per game. He was an amazing rebounder. He averaged 10.3 rebounds per game in his career, had 2 seasons where he had a season where he averaged 14 rebounds per game. He had a season where he averaged, or multiple seasons where he averaged 13 rebounds per game, multiple seasons where he averaged 12 rebounds per game. So he was an amazing player, mainly defensively and mainly with shot blocking, but also rebounding. He was incredible, and you can see it in all the accomplishments with the rebound champ, the block champ, all the Defensive Player of the Year awards, all the Defensive NBA awards, even being an all-time, a 3-time All-NBA. And to top it all off, he was an NBA Hall of Famer. So the NBA loses a good one today, not just for what he, did on the basketball court, being an amazing defensive player, having the iconic no, and everything he did on the basketball court, but what he did off the court, being an amazing man, and helping, every community he's been in, Houston, Denver, he's been huge. So this is a huge loss for the NBA, and it's been a tough year in the NBA with losses in 2024. 3 big ones that I mentioned: Bill Walton, Jerry West, and now Dikembe Mutombo, and that's just to name the top 3. There are so many other players in the NBA, past players that have passed away this year in 2024. It's been a tough year with deaths in the NBA, and the NBA unfortunately adds another one. But I'm going to quote what Jeff Green said: "Even though I'm sad he's gone, at least he's no longer in pain." Let me know your thoughts on the passing and share your thoughts on Dikembe Mutombo in the comment section. Peace out.